we're gonna sit on the dog, and you can tell me this story.
Okay, so...
Because this is not 24 hours after Mr. Clean was let go by police over there. You know, after flipping off kids, telling them they need to die, you know, and all that stuff. Being very aggressive with his gestures, trying to get people to fight with him, you know. So, what happened to you today? Okay,
so Jake, Frankie, and I were going for a walk.
Yeah.
And as we were passing the 7-Eleven down on Tejon and whatever that is, I don't know what it is. Just a couple blocks away from here, okay? This guy sitting on the side, like right here, on these little ledge thingies, he asked me for a cigarette. I said, sure, dude. So I'm handing him a cigarette. And then the lady that was working at the 7-Eleven came out and started like screaming at him, and she was horrible. She was like, you can't have that fucking cigarette, and blah, 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 blah. Like, she was just horrible to him. Like, this guy, all he wanted was a cigarette. I was okay with giving him a cigarette. If I wasn't, I would have said, sorry, dude. I wanted to give him my cigarette. Like, it wasn't her cigarette, it was mine. And I was like, you need to chill out. It's just a freaking cigarette. Watching my language now, of course. She was nuts. And so she started yelling at me, like, then she got closer to me, and I just like snapped. I was like, you need to shut the fuck up, you bitch. Like, I was horrible. And she was horrible to him though. Like, I feel like I was defending him, and I feel like she was in the wrong. So anyways, she went back inside the 7-Eleven, and the three of us walked away. And then we came back around, and this was probably stupid of us, but Jake and Frankie were protesting 7-Eleven. They were like, have 7-Eleven, don't go there, go somewhere else, go to a local business, whatever. And she called the cops on us.
Yeah.
And we were walking away. We were coming back here to the park, and we had like 4 cops stop us, and they wanted to see our IDs. Whatever, fine.
Yeah.
And then they were telling us that what we were doing was wrong, and I said, that's so funny because last night police officers told us that swearing is perfectly fine. Putting your finger up in a kid's face, or your middle finger, sorry, is just fine. Like, all that is just fine as long as you're not threatening bodily harm, as long as you're not...
Yeah, that was Sergeant Schwall right there.
Yeah, right over there.
How many blocks away?
A couple blocks, 2-3 blocks.
2-3 blocks.
Okay, and I said, you know, we just had a police officer tell us last night that swearing's not illegal. Not illegal at all, can't get in trouble for it, can't do anything for it. Now, mind you, I did not touch this girl. I did not go into the 7-Eleven. I did not follow her. I did not, nothing like that, okay? Nothing at all. And Frankie said something about the First Amendment, you know, whatever, our right to free speech. And of course, they did not want to talk about the First Amendment at all. They refused. The guy said, I don't know anything about that. I'm not talking about that. I'm not talking about that. I'm not talking about that. And I was like, you know what? If you are going to uphold the law, you need to know the law. And Frankie had just been forced into a cop car. Seriously. We were sitting on the curb talking to the cops, and they forced Frankie into the cop car.
Was he violent at all before that?
No.
Like, Frankie, as violent as Mr. Clean was?
No. Not at all. And you know what? Even a kid and his mom walked by, and we shut our mouths and waited for them to pass. We were respectful to the children. I'm not kidding. And then, so after I said my, you know, if you're going to uphold the law, you need to know the law. This cop grabs me, and he said, you're getting in the car. And I said, okay, but you can let go of me. And he said, you're getting in the car right now. I said, okay, please don't hurt me. You're hurting my arm. And he was like, stop resisting, like yelling at me. I was like, I'm not resisting, you're hurting me. And he just pulled me tighter, like tighter. And he was like, stop resisting or I'm arresting you for resisting. I'm like, I'm not resisting, I'm telling you, I'm getting in the car. But you are hurting me. And he just didn't give a shit. He just threw me in the car. That was the first time I've ever been in a cop car before. And we sat there for a freaking hour. And then they arrested Jake. He had a warrant out. So, I mean, I understand kind of all that.
Yeah.
And I have a court hearing. I don't know what's happening with Frankie, but yeah.
So you got a court hearing? What you... Oh. What did they charge you with? Where does it say?
I don't know.
Oh, you told him, or you told her, the victim, you fucking bitch. And so you're being charged with harassment.
I asked the nice cop if I could call the cops on her for being so horribly inhumane to somebody.
Can I get which cop actually signed that? Here.
It says DJM Wildering? Or Wilbering? I can't read that.
Yeah. Wilberdink.
And actually, he was the nice cop. Like, he was...
Okay, so he's the one that signed it, but he was the nice cop.
But the guy that threw me in the cop car was by no means nice. Like, he was just enforcing his right to be a dick. I'm not kidding. Like, that freaking hurt. You don't touch a girl like that. You know what my dad would have done if some guy touched me like that? He would have gone after him with a fucking rifle. I'm not kidding. Just saying. That's not
So how do you feel about Mr. Clean getting away with all he's done over all these days of having the police here?
I'm so mad about that. How can they treat that guy with respect? He wasn't thrown in any cop car. He wasn't...
Yeah.
Was he given a ticket? Any kind of ticket?
No,
he wasn't? Oh, that's awesome. You know, you can
And we were told that was freedom of speech, him saying all those things that we have on camera.
You can scare children, and you can cuss and swear on children, and you can flip children off and stuff, but that's only if you're not a protester, maybe? I don't know. Mr. Clean can do whatever he feels like. Hey, Mr. Clean, I hope you're watching this.